was just one of those things, a little hard to explain. One look and you had changed everything. Before I ever heard your name, that's the way it all began. One breath and I knew the lonely air I'd been breathing had been leading me straight to you. Who would have believed it's true? But the sky started to cry, sunshine, the clouds rolling away for the first time. I could feel the chains around my heart breaking free. Unknowingly, a little luck was raining down on unlucky me. It was just like a dream, the kind that lingers for hours and hours, never knowing what it all means. Scene by scene, it all replays. To keep it clear in my head, I've been convinced so many times just to find that I'd been misled. This time I found you instead, and the sky started to cry, sunshine, and the clouds rolling away for the first time. I could feel the chains around my heart breaking free. So innocently, a little luck was raining down on unlucky me. And you opened up my eyes when the sky started to cry, sunshine, clouds rolling away for the first time. I could feel the chains around my heart breaking free. Surprisingly, a little luck was raining down on unlucky me. Was just one of those things.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. It's time. This week we're going to be covering the song "Unlucky Me" from my new record, "Beautiful Brand New Day." It's fun to catch up on what happened this week. I had a pretty good week this week with Six Wire. We played the IEBA show a couple of days ago, which is the International Entertainment Buyers Association. William Morris, the booking agency, was kind enough to give us their entire night, and we backed up, showcasing Six Wire, backing up other acts, and we backed up Scotty McCreery and Thompson Square, William Michael Morgan, Gretchen Wilson, and there was a bunch of and some other people. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. And then we went to Indianapolis and played a really great convention up there, a company called Juice Plus. We've done that several years, and that was fun. And then we went to Rochester to play a fundraiser where we also backed up John Elefante from Kansas and Lou Graham from Foreigner and Mickey Thomas from Starship. So that was a lot of songs to get ready for, and we spent a lot of time doing that, and it was really something to do that. And also got some really great news this morning that I don't mean to be all cryptic. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share it yet, but anyway, I'm super excited. I got some some big news, music wise. We're not having another child. Everybody thinks we're having another child, but some really great things are going on, and super happy and super blessed, and we really appreciate all the stuff that's going on. So today we're going to talk about Unlucky Me, which is thank you, Reagan, for chiming in. Unlucky Me is I think it's the oldest song on the record. It's got to be close to 17 years old. And 15 to 17 years old. I don't remember exactly when I wrote it. And this was another one that didn't really have a specific purpose for it. I wasn't trying to write something for a film or those kinds of things. I just wanted to be creative. As I've said, if you've seen any of my videos in the past, I'm a really big Crowded House fan, and I was feeling inspired to write a song, and there was no, I didn't really have anything that I was writing about. It was funny because at the time I was single when I wrote this song, and I wrote it about a guy who meets a girl, and everything kind of changed for him. So it wasn't about anyone. It was just one of those things. I was just kind of in the mood to be super creative. I'm a huge fan of the way Neil Finn writes, and I really wanted to try to write something that he might kind of come up with, and I wasn't trying to get this song cut. I wasn't doing Nashville business with this song. I just wanted to just come up with something that I don't typically get to write if I'm trying to get cuts in Nashville or things like that. So I just decided to I had this title. And like I say before, I always try to write with a title, because if I have an idea, a title and an idea, it's a lot easier for me to write lyrics toward that idea. I started messing around with this. And I just thought that was really neat. And if you can't really hear it, but mathematically speaking, it's got this thing that descends down all the way through. This note here is. So the whole time it's going. So that kind of had this this common thread. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold. I apologize. So against that kind of thing, that descending line, I kind of wanted to have a melody that worked against that, and I really like how, like when Neil Finn or Paul McCartney or those kind of guys write, they intertwine minors and majors. They're absolute masters at it. So I just started kind of just channeling those guys, and I just came up with this melody. It was just one of those things, a little hard to explain. One look and you would changed everything. And then the major, before I utter your name, that's the way. And what I did was when I got to there, I decided just to go ahead and just repeat the pattern. Heard your name, that's, then back to the pattern. Wait, I'll be and I get to this chorus, and as I've mentioned in the past, I really like for my choruses to just go, you know, and I call it the chorus is exploding.
We'll believe it's true. And the sky started to cry, sunshine, clouds rolling away for the first time. And I could feel the chains around my heart breaking free.
Which incorporates this 2 major all of a sudden out of the blue, you know. It's like, again, I mean, if you're not trying to get a cut and like that, you know.
So innocent.
Very Beatlesy, very Crowded House.
Little luck was raining down on unlucky me.
There's the Woody Woodpecker lick. Anyway, and I just kept trying to be as creative as I could. Again, and I'm not trying to discount writing country songs like that, because obviously I do that a lot, and I love writing country songs. But you don't get a lot of creative freedom, or it's not a country song anymore. You can't just do whatever you want to. It's good. You have to stay in a certain parameter if you're writing a country song, and to me is where the craft of it is for writing country. Or if you're writing, and again, this is one I wrote by myself. This whole record is songs that I wrote by myself. And if I don't have anybody else sitting across from me, I don't really feel like anybody. I don't feel like I have to keep things. I don't have to keep things in a certain direction. You know, sometimes if you're trying to co-write, sometimes you kind of all have to be on the same page. You don't have to worry about being on anybody else's same page when you're writing by yourself. And I feel like I write a lot differently by myself, which is why this record has this common thread through it that kind of has you know, the same kind of creative direction as all, you know, they all kind of have the same thing going on. So it's just one of those deals. I wrote this a long time ago, and this has kind of continued to be one of my favorite songs that I've ever written, and it just kind of, I don't really know why. It just keeps hanging in there, and I've written some songs that I love, and I've co-written so many songs that I love, because of my super talented co-writers. And but again, when you write by yourself, you don't really. It's all up to you. You know, you do everything. You write everything, and you make all the decisions. And if you're writing a song that's like this, it's not. You don't necessarily have to. You don't have to stay in any kind of box. My whole thing with this song was I didn't really care if it had any commercial success. I just wanted to write something that was in my something was in my head. So, and that's kind of how it happened for me. And that's I just love that just changed. And that's the beauty of, you know, the beauty of not caring if a song makes any money. You just write what's in your heart and what you feel. So, and that's what I did with that particular one. Again, I'm going to answer any questions anybody has. Reagan's keeping track downstairs, and she'll write down, you know, because I don't really get to watch what's going on the screen because I'm trying to tell my story, right? So, anyway, as far as doing the recording it, I didn't really. I lost the hard drive that had this song. This is an old song. This is a 15-year-old song, and I lost the hard drive because that happens. Those of you out there that do things like back up your computers, I'm not super good at backing up stuff, and I did have it backed up on the drive, but I didn't have it backed up twice, and the one that it was backed up on failed. Lost a whole bunch of songs on that drive, and this was one of them. And so I didn't really get a chance to go back and remix this song, which I would have loved to. But I did. Let me change the view here. Kind of look at the Pro Tools. I did get a chance to go back and again, I did this with the first song that I played for y'all, Love Song for the Lonely. I kind of just went, oh, you know what? I stand corrected. I didn't even do anything to this song except remaster it. But there was a couple of things in this that were pretty cool that, again, like the kind of things you don't do, you know, when you're trying to do business. You're just trying to do your thing. But I put this weird little... that was a weird little... I'm not sure what it was. I think it was like an accordion backwards. And I made it backwards and put a bunch of delay on it just because I wanted some kind of a weird little intro on this song. But
it was just one of those things, a little hard to explain. One look and you had changed everything. Before I ever heard your name, that's the way it all began. One breath and I knew the lonely air I'd been breathing.
and the accordion is there kind of off to the side.
To you, who would have believed it's true? But the sky started to cry sunshine.
So I take it. So I take this thing and have all these weird little sounds. Like off to the left, there's a those of you guitar players out there know there's a thing called an ebow, and it basically sounds like a violin. Basically, it keeps the string going constantly. And so there's a thing going off on the left, and then there's the accordion going off on the right that are kind of doing different melodies that kind of fill up the space on each side. So with headphones on, this is kind of fun to listen to. The drums, this is actually Chuck Tilley playing drums on this one as well. And the drums, he didn't actually play for those drums on this song. Those of you that are familiar with six-wire songs, those are actually the drums for a song called Saving Grace. And again, I didn't have the technology that I have now to play my own drums and replacing and things like that. This was a while back before all that technology was, you know, such an easy thing to get to. So I took those drums and I changed the tempo of them and I rearranged them to match this song. So the drums for this is Chuck playing Saving Grace, and then I went back and rearranged them and did things like that. There's a funny thing about this song. It's got the world's shortest bridge. I'll play that for you real quick. After the guitar solo, which I love. I'm a huge like Chris Isaak fan, things like that. And the solo.
I could feel the a little love was raining down.
I love all the tremolo bar stuff. And the world's shortest bridge.
And you opened up my eyes when the sky started to cry sunshine. Clouds
Little 12-string guitar going on the side.
first time I could feel the chains around my heart break free. Surprisingly, a little luck was raining down on unlucky me.
Little Evo on the side, if you hear that in the background.
Was just one of those things.
So I decided to add that weird little accordion thing back. Anyway, I'm trying to get this turned There we go. I can't show a lot of individual parts on this particular one because I don't have the individual parts, but I kind of went through a few of the things. But anyway, that's how we did that one. I thought about redoing the entire demo and re-recording it, you know, and being able to have a lot more control and all that kind of stuff. But I just love the way that one turned out. Just had a little bit of magic all the way through it, and I wasn't sure if I could make it better, you know. So I just decided to just leave it, you know, and try to make it fit. And I just kind of, anyway, I got a phone call. That was our buddy Phil Vassar calling. We're doing a show with Phil in a couple of days, and trying to get him to give me what songs he wants to do. We're going to be performing with him at the Opry House for a private show with Low Cash, and that should be pretty fun. Anyway, so that's all I have. That's Unlucky Me. Next week I'm going to be doing a song called Let's Go on the record. That's it's another interesting story on that song, so tune in next week for that one. I'll be answering any questions. I guess Reagan's down there keeping track, and we'll see if she'll pop her head up here in just a second. But again, next week is going to be Let's Go. It's a song that I wrote for a movie. Someone had asked if the news that I had coming up was about Six Wire. It is not. It has something to do with songwriting and production and stuff like that. And I got some really good news today for those of you that are just joining. And I'm going to find out as it goes along how much I can tell about it. Because I just found out about it today, and it's a really big deal. I got oh, here comes little Wrigley. Yeah, I just got I can tell you what it is. I just they got the word that I wrote a song for a theme. I wrote a theme song for a TV show, and I got it today, and I'm super excited about it. And that's all I can really say about it. We have a visit.
Hi, everybody. This is me, Rick, when I'm 4.
Okay, there you go. You have any stories you want to tell?
Yes.
Okay, tell them a story.
Okay, I'll tell them the story. Once upon a time, there was a little princess named Wrigley, and she was in a castle, and her mommy and daddy named Mommy and Daddy. And then she had some videos.
Had what?
Some dinosaurs.
Oh.
And their names was me and Papa.
Oh.
And then they sing, and then Daddy the Prince came and loved me.
Daddy the Prince.
Daddy loved me, and then they lived happily ever after.
The end. That was a great story. Thank you, Wrigley. You coming up? Oh, there weren't? No questions? Okay. Well, thank you guys.
Someone said with this child as cute as Wrigley, how can we not have another one?
How can we not have another one? Because this one is so perfect. See? Perfect. Couldn't be more perfect. All right. Well, there were no questions. Let's see here. Did somebody just ask a question?
Yes.
What was that? Bye, Wrigley.
Are those Mackie HR 824s I see? Excellent taste.
They are actually. They are the Mackies, and then I also have a huge sub underneath me that because I kept red lighting these things, so I've got some low end going on. And then I also have these KRKs that I use for my littles. And anyway, a little tech question for you. That's it. So next week is going to be Let's Go. I think I'm going to be moving these to Monday night. Sunday just gets a little bit hectic for me, especially if I'm coming home from the road or something like that. So Monday night, we're going to make it 8 o'clock, and maybe I'll be able to tell everybody my news next week. And I sure appreciate everybody checking in and watching. You can go to this whole album is available on iTunes. And you can go to my website, stevemandel.com, and there's a link, or you can just go to iTunes and just type my name in. You can go listen to it on Apple Music and listen to it on Spotify, or whatever you want to do. I just want to, you don't have to go buy it, and I just want everybody to hear it. So if you get a chance, I'd sure appreciate it. And you guys have a great Monday night, and I'll see y'all next week.